Good evening, everyone. I am doing something new and recording a video to share an experience that I had today. For those that may be watching this video and following either my Facebook or Instagram page, and I don't know you personally or never met you in person, I should say, then I am Tueri. I am the founder and CEO of N360, which is Naturally 360, my life and wellness coaching brand that was birthed after losing my father. You can see him in the background to stage 4 lung cancer, and then later my mother to heart disease. So I have been blessed with the vision of becoming a life and wellness coach because I'm on a mission to empower others to become the CEO over their health and wellness by taking a seat at the table and the head seat actually in making the decisions about their health and wellness. So to go on to share with you the experience I had today, I have been on a health journey myself for the past few years after losing my father and experiencing some health challenges myself and several misdiagnoses and things, and then later being diagnosed with Lyme disease January last year after asking for the test from watching a docu-series and a couple of video testimonies about from people that had been living with it. And so fast forward to today, I had an iridology reading by Dr. Lamar Price of Dynamic Health Solutions. And he's someone who I had been following on Facebook after learning about him at an event I attended, but just really wasn't serious about learning more about it until someone who's connected to someone that's close to me had a reading by him and shared their experience from their reading. And so today I had my experience. And so just to give you a little bit on how the exam went, we introduced ourselves, normal, greetings, hello, how are you, names and all of that. And then he explained to me how he can read what's going on with your body and the inside from reading your eyes. And he had a chart similar to this that breaks down what part of your iris is connected to different organs in your body or has messages connected to those organs or systems in your body. And then he flipped it over and told me about how nutrition affects your body. And so, I just listened, didn't tell him anything about, any training that I've had in life and wellness coaching or health coaching or anything. And then the exam started and he told me, first I'm going to not test you, I'm going to look into your eyes or look for disease and viruses or whatnot. And so he did. And he said, I don't see any cancers or, things of that nature, heart disease, diabetes, things of that nature. Of course, which was a relief to me, even though I didn't expect him to, but, to hear it was a relief. And then he went on and said, but I do see that you have been experiencing 4 years of neurological stress. And at that moment, he began taking notes in his phone. And so I said, well, can I write why you're taking notes? And of course he said yes. And it's because I wanted to write everything that he was going to tell me. Now remember, this was my first time meeting him. I shared nothing about my health history with him. So the 4 years of neurological stress immediately said to me, 4 years ago, my father passed from stage 4 lung cancer. And then he went on to say, well, the last year has been extremely traumatic for you. Little did he know, I lost my mother to heart disease. What was diagnosed on paper as heart disease, but was also stress and depression or connected to stress and depression. But he didn't know that. So I'm writing while he's talking and still looking in my eyes. I'm writing once he pauses after looking in my eyes. Then he went on to tell me about my digestive system being in havoc. And it has been on and off in havoc since taking the antibiotics for the Lyme disease, which was last year when I took the antibiotics. He told me there was some irritation in my colon, which is connected to the digestive issues. He said, you have sinus issues, which I've had all of my life, but they have been extreme since moving to North Carolina. And then he said, you also have a pinched nerve in your lower back. Now, he didn't know anything about me having a fall from roller skating in 2013. He didn't know anything about me sliding down my stairs because they're steep in my house a few times. I think everybody in my house has slid down my stairs. He didn't know anything about that. But he was like, you have a pinched nerve. Mind you, this is all from looking in my eyes. And the next thing he said was, you have scar tissue in your uterus. But he didn't know that I had just gone to my OBGYN 3 weeks before, and she had done some tests to tell me the same thing. And so we talked about that a little more. He shed some light on that in regards to causes or whatnot. He also said, that I have a cyst on my right ovary, but he didn't know that I had already been given that diagnosis in 2015 by my OBGYN, and we've just been watching it. Well, she's been watching it. I've been doing things about it. But and then he said, I want you to know that you do have a heart of a 28-year-old. Now, that was a highlight. I was like, yes, because, when I love hard, and thinking about all the exercising I've been doing, or moving, I should say, over the past 10 or so weeks, making sure I'm getting my exercise in at least 5 days a week. And so, and I just thought about how I have a heart for helping people when he said that as well. And he talked about, you have gas and mucus in your esophagus, which, again, he didn't know about the sinus issues, the drainage, and all that stuff that goes on with that as well. And so he just went on, and the list continues. He talked about the cellular activity being high on the right side of my brain, which he said really wasn't abnormal, but on the left side it was extremely high. And he didn't know about, the symptoms I've had in the right side of my body. As you know, the left side of your brain is connected to the right, and the right side of your brain is connected to the left. But the muscle contractions and things that I've been experiencing on the right side of my body. But he did say, that lets me know that your sleep pattern is off, and it has been since after losing my dad. He did let me know, he was like, you have an analytical brain. You like to analyze things, which is true. But he said, sometimes you can be anal about it, and I'm going to need you to work on that and just kind of chill out a little bit. And I laughed because I told him my husband would love to hear that. But he also let me know that my acidic level in my brain is high. And so that we would need to, that would be something that we would address in his regimen. And then he talked about my stress level. He was like, you are stressed. And he said, your stress is not just male connected, it's female connected. He said, most women have male connected stress because it's due to relationships, but yours is female connected. But see, he didn't know that, after losing my parents, I had some close relationships that were strained, both to, males that I'm closer connected to and females too, and just some other things that have happened since then. He didn't know. And just listening to this, I was just in awe that he was able to tell me about the last 4 years of my life, just from looking in my eyes. He continued to talk about my stress, and was talking about the stress and how it's affecting my back as well. And he was like, your C1, your C3, your C7, your T1, your T1 through T6, and your L3 are being impacted. He didn't know that 2 years ago, my general practitioner told me that I had the beginning stages of arthritis developing around my L3. But he was able to tell me this. And so I wanted to share this for a couple of reasons. One is because I wanted people to hear the story. One, to know that you have options in regards to how you address your health care. There's definitely a place for conventional medicine in this world, but there's also a big place and a big need for holistic medicine and natural medicine. And so the things that he was telling me just from looking at my eyes were things that it has taken me years to figure out, 4 years exact. I thought about all the money we've spent sending me to specialists and getting tests ran and counseling and just different things and dealing with my grief and the things that were going on with my body. And everybody kept telling me stress and anxiety. And I knew that it was so much more, or should I say something more, but not really knowing what. And there were plenty of times I could have just settled for the labels that were being thrown at me, the diagnoses that were being given to me, the prescriptions that were being prescribed to me, but I didn't. And I made a decision that in order to get through this, then I'm gonna have to take ownership over my health, and I am going to have to be the CEO and sit at the head table. And though I am seeking knowledge from the specialists and the professionals, the final decision is mine based off of the information that they share, but ultimately based off of what God tells me through my prayers and my time with Him. And so it was just an amazing experience. I am still floored at just what He was able to tell me. But it was an experience that I definitely will continue to share with other people, definitely will recommend to some of my coaching clients who are in a space where they're ready to, receive that type of wellness information. And so there's an awesome experience coming up in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's being hosted by Nicole Brantley, who's a womb therapist of Fresh. And so she is partnering with Dr. Price and hosting this event. And he will be there speaking. I will be there front row seat listening. But I also have an extra ticket. And so N360 wants to give away the extra ticket to a person that can really communicate what they are doing to live as the CEO over their health. So there are 4 questions that would like for those who would like to win the ticket to answer. And the 4 questions are, the first one is, what does health and wellness mean to you? What does it mean to you? What are your top 3 wellness goals? What are you currently doing to achieve them? And who's a part of your wellness team? Who's sitting at your table? And it doesn't necessarily have to be just conventional doctors. It doesn't have to be holistic doctors. It may be your yoga teacher. It may be a counselor or a therapist. It may be your hairstylist. I call mine my hair therapist because she's really doing therapy when she's doing my hair, because it's so relaxing to me and the conversations that we have are so enriching. So it may be your hair therapist, but it needs to be someone that's really contributing to your health inside and out, not just painting your nails and because your nails are a different color or a different shape and style, and that's it. But let me know how they are contributing to your health and wellness inside and out, and how they are connected to the goals that you're trying to reach. You can send me your answers by inboxing me through Facebook at Tueri Dunton Forbes, or through Instagram through N360 Life. If you would like to win the ticket, again, the event is going to be on October 7th, starting at 12 o'clock through 4 o'clock, and it is going to be amazing. Just based off of my experience with Dr. Price today, and me getting little droplets of him speaking before a group today, I have great expectations to get additional information that's going to guide me in my journey, as well as equip me to help other people on this journey that I'm on in empowering people to become the CEOs over their health and wellness. So I just wanted to share that tidbit. This is again my first video. I've never done a social media video before, and I'm sure more will be coming. I'm not one to jump on social media through videos. Usually I send posts. Sometimes they can be lengthy, but I like to give details. But we'll see where this leads me. But I just wanted to share. I hope you are encouraged and empowered. And I just tell you to take your rightful seat at the head of your wellness and health and wellness table as the CEO, making the final decision. Have a good night.